Hello, welcome to this week's MMA Freak Fire of the Week. I'm Matt Salzer. So I have been putting this off for a while, and I haven't done it for a few weeks. Not that I didn't intend to do it. It was just one of those things where things happen. So I'm actually going to play catch-up today and go in reverse order. So the last major event was UFC 222. I'm giving my Fighter of the Week for Sean O'Malley. I will explain later. UFC on Fox 28. The Fighter of the Week is going to be Jeremy Stevens. And the Legacy Fighting Alliance 33. I know there was a fight night, but I think that was better. It's going to be Maycee Barber. So on to UFC 222. It was already supposed to be an above average pay-per-view on paper. That's just how it was. I mean, if you look at it realistically, there just was not that much good. The last few pay-per-views just haven't really been that well. I mean, they've had a good main event, maybe a good co-main event, but the undercard just wasn't that good. This one was the first one in a while that actually had a good undercard. So, Chris Cyborg versus Yana Kunitskaya. Exactly the way I thought it would go. Cyborg winning by TKO. Now, granted, she actually did... Kunitskaya actually did better than people thought she would. And she actually had a pretty good game plan. Take Cyborg out where she's... Even though she's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, she's weaker because her bread and butter is striking. And it was a good game plan. It's just unfortunately Cyborg got back on her feet, and then she started hit her, and she got panicked, and it was downhill from there. So Cyborg defends her title again, and it's really a question of, can anyone really beat her? I mean, Amanda Nunes, they're trying to get that Amanda Nunes fight for UFC Fight Night Week or UFC Fight Week, but I don't know if even that's going to really do anything. It's just one of those things where it's just like, she may not. The days of trying to find someone to beat Cyborg may in fact be limited. I mean, Megan Anderson might stand a chance, but she beat all the top women both at featherweight and whoever bumps up to trying to fight her bumping up to featherweight. I mean, Holly Holm here, that's all she had, and it did nothing. So yeah, that's that. Then Brian Ortega. He was, I think he was listed as the underdog, and he beat Frankie Edgar. The guy's an up-and-comer, and he knocked out Edgar and Max Holloway, and he's next in line for Max Holloway. So this will definitely be interesting. And then the next fight, this is why I'm giving it to Sean O'Malley. The guy, well, from what I understand, it's not actually broken, but it was still an injury. He was clearly in pain, couldn't stand up. He fought through it to get the TKO victory. And why Andrei Sukhanov didn't stand it up, I'm still not sure. Because at one point they stood up and he saw him hopping. Clearly he was trying to go for a finish, but it was just one of those things where it's like, I don't think either he wasn't thinking clearly, or his corner wasn't thinking clearly. Someone was not thinking clearly in trying to beat him, and ultimately, but because O'Malley had been winning the first two rounds, all he needed to do was just get out of the third, and he won the fight. And props to him because he was visibly in pain at points in that fight. So the fact that he came away with it is definitely impressive, to say the least. And like I said, originally people thought it was broken. My understanding is it's not. It's some kind of an injury, like a sprain or something like that. But either way, thankfully he's not going to be on the shelf as long as originally thought. Good for him. Hope to see him back in there soon. Then Andrei Arlovsky going against the skyscraper Stefan Struve. These guys are two heavyweight veterans. We consider them kind of middle heavyweights because Arlovsky's like in the 230, 240 range. Same with Struve. They're not particularly big guys. They're just too big to go down to light heavyweight, especially Stefan Struve, who's had health problems in the past. But, we got to see hints of that old Arlovsky that won the UFC heavyweight championship and who was able to come back. And I think fighting an American top team is definitely helping him out. So, but yeah, it was good to see that, and also to see him go a little bit to his sambo roots when he had to grapple with Struve a little bit. So that was good. Then you had Caitlin Vieira go against Kat Zingano, and Zingano's a good fighter, but Vieira is clearly an up and coming fighter. She's one of those fighters where the sky's the limit for her. Probably I could see her probably at some point challenging Nunes for the title, because it's like I said, she's a very good Brazilian fighter. She's got not only Brazilian jiu-jitsu but judo background, and she's just on the rise. So she's one of those up and comers that I think we'll definitely see a lot of in the future, bar something bad happening. But anyways, and then I also want to talk about the prelims, because a lot have happened on the preliminary card. So Mackenzie Dern versus Ashley Yoder. Now, on the site, there's actually an interview that Edson and I did with Ashley Yoder before she even appeared on The Ultimate Fighter. So it was nice to see her go out there and compete, but clearly Dern was just the better fighter. It was a close fight, but I definitely agree with the judges. Dern came away more with the win, and she's just one of those fighters who has just the skills over Yoder. So, hopefully Yoder stays in the UFC. I hope they don't cut her, but if not, we'll probably see her in Invicta. And then if not, either way, Dern, again, up-and-comer in the strawweight division. And for a UFC athlete, surprisingly curvy, and it's natural. It's not like Pearl Gonzalez or Misha, who, for lack of a better word, had breast implants. She's got a naturally curvy booty, and she's got a natural rack. Just pure and simple. So I guess she's not cutting that much weight at strawweight, and considering that strawweight is the lowest weight class, in the UFC, she probably won't cut that much more weight. So, but yeah, she did pretty well, and hope to see her in the future. Then this other one, Alexander Hernandez knocking out Beneil Dariush. This kid was a late replacement, and I think it was something like 2 weeks' notice. Goes out, and you could tell the kid was just swinging for the fences and knocks out Beneil Dariush. This kid's if you want to make a statement, he made a statement. So, congrats to him. He's in the UFC, and he got of note also that Sean O'Malley and Andrei Suganov got the fight of the night, and then Brian Ortega got performance of the night, and so did Alex Hernandez. So good for those guys. Then you had John Dodson going in there fighting a close fight with Pedro Munoz. You can tell fights are good when they're split decisions, like if the judges can't unanimously decide. And this was another one of those cases. John Dodson and bantamweight does want to face TJ Dillashaw again because, quite frankly, he knocked him out. That's how he won that season of The Ultimate Fighter, and then he went down to flyweight, whereas TJ stayed at bantamweight. So we're going to see how that goes. And then the unfortunate... you had the unfortunate fight between CV Dalloway and Hector Lombard, where Hector threw not one, but two shots after the bell. And here's the thing. The bell went off like a second or two before he threw the shot, so he knew that the fight was done. And yet he seemed to be upset that it was a disqualification loss. Well, it's like guess what? If you'd thrown that shot before the bell, yes, you would have won the fight, because CV Dalloway would have been out and it would have been called a TKO right there, maybe even a knockout. But he didn't. He threw the punch after the bell. That automatically makes it an illegal punch. So I think a disqualification was definitely warranted, because you cause something that to a fighter, rendering them unable to continue, whereas under normal circumstances they would be able to. So yeah, that's that. And upcoming, so coming up though, we have a break from both Bellator and the UFC this weekend. It's just the Legacy FC fight, and then the weekend after that there is a fight night, but it's on UFC. It's on UFC Fight Pass. However, something interesting next weekend though is that it is the NCAA Division I Wrestling Championships. I'm looking forward to that, because I'm originally a wrestler, and that's something that I've always looked forward to. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's it. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Give a thumbs up. And stay tuned. I will try to put out a MMA Freak Show Top 10 list for St. Patrick's Day. That is next weekend. So either way, I'm Matt Stalzer for MMA Freak, and I'll see you next time.